You have to have ways to release that stress and that pressure. The walks are like anybody else's workout. It's my way of getting out of here. It helps me. Throw some music on and clears the mind.
Yeah, I want to walk over it with you to tell you what we're thinking. What level are you at, like area of compensation?
You can create some interesting thoughts on those walks.
Hey, I was calling about seeing what you got cooking on him.
It allows you to come back and maybe put something in the system that maybe you didn't think of before.
How much in incentives are you talking about? I want to stay engaged with you guys on this.
Mike, I put a lot on him.
Just got done meeting with Ballard. One of the things Chris hit me with today is I'll run that by Chris again. If something changes after talking it over with Chris, just see what his thoughts are there.
I've had a phone call or two come in the middle of a walk where I'm moving a little faster to getting back.
I want us to stay engaged because there could be some interest even if you wait till after the draft.
It's just a way to kind of get away from everything for a moment and just clear that mind.
You must have been reading my mind earlier because I was actually meeting with Chris. All right, so what we're looking at is first year paragraph 5.1.
My primary responsibility is the lead negotiator on all of our contracts.
We know what he's capable of doing and we think he fits what we're doing here. Let me send it over to you guys, take a look at it, and then just give me some feedback.
But I have to also manage a salary cap and a budget.
Juggling the cap, which can be confusing.
His job's very difficult.
There's other things that go along with the job as well.
Hey, Mike Bluem. Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
Welcome.
He does a tremendous job juggling a lot of different hats.
Learn all the different rules that go into the collective bargaining agreement, communication with the league office on personnel rules,
When it comes to league rules, connections in the league office.
roster management,
When we talk about players, he's got to be able to do that with contracts.
dealing with the coaches on the off-season program and what we're allowed to do,
Making sure we're not breaking any rules.
dealing with the training staff on the injuries and how it's going to affect moves that we need to make.
Just kind of making everything work.
Try to make it work for everybody on our roster.
There's a lot to digest.
So there's a lot that goes into it, and just try to take as much of the financial picture off the plate for Chris so he can focus on just doing football moves.
Look, I mean, it doesn't mean we still can't do the deal after that. I just got to get it out at that point.
It's definitely a puzzle.
I want to kick something over to you. I got an email ready to go.
When you're in the middle of a negotiation, you know, it is kind of like a chessboard. Just talking it over with the coaches and Chris, we do want them back. But when you're looking at the big picture of how these things fit into our entire picture, it is a puzzle. What pieces you have and how you're going to manage the cap.
Obviously, if you hit the market, you hit the market. We're so close to it, I understand that.
How much each guy is going to cost.
And a roster bonus earned, fully guaranteed.
And just bringing everything together to paint the best picture you can for putting the best roster together.
And I'll bring that up with Chris. I will definitely bring that up with Chris.
That's the purpose of a capologist.
We'll get it figured out. I'm not real concerned about the cap right now. This is more about just overall money.
From the outside looking in, the salary cap looks very complex, but when you're doing it day in, day out, it becomes not necessarily simple, but easier.
I'm gonna up this thing it's not a lot, but it's more an incentive-based up.
There's no easy way to give a crash course in just a few minutes.
Mike has always got his hands on, okay, this is how much we have left.
What do you have cooking right now on them? What level are you at? I would tell you right now, I don't think we'd be in that market.
This is how any decision we make impacts us, not only this year, but 2 years down the line, because we have players we're going to want to extend and keep on our own team.
Then I think we're going to sit and hold for a little bit and see what happens out there.
You have to be very disciplined when you do that.
He's got to know how the player's ability fits in the contract, and he's got to work the contract in a way that makes sense for the club and for the player.
One of the things that we're concerned about is obviously the injuries. So that's something I still have to work through internally here. Are you guys willing to do that, or are you still above that?
We're a cash to current cap, whatever the current cap team. That's how we operate.
It's always cash. Everyone talks in terms of cap. It is cash, not cap. Everything's driven by what you're paying. The salary cap is just an accounting method of how we actually pay things. You can easily spend more than the cap allows, but it eventually catches up to you later on. So eventually you got to come back to where the cap is, and in some cases below it, to make up the ground that you lost by overspending. That's just kind of an accounting method to this thing. It's always cash driven.
We're trying to hold on to certain things here, and we're looking through our options and trying to determine what's best for us. He wins that job, he's going to earn these escalators. We believe we're going to make the playoffs?
The first question I always ask when we're talking about doing something is it in the best interest of the Indianapolis Colts?
He'll always ask, hey, are you sure? You know, is this prudent?
If you can't answer that question with a yes, then you just move on and do something different.
Mike will give you an honest, critical opinion of what he thinks of where we're going.
We hold true to our philosophy, whether it's the draft, our approach to free agency, how we construct contracts. You try to stay true to that philosophy all the way through.
I'll always ask his opinion, you know, how do you feel about where we're going with this contract? And he'll give me an honest opinion. We don't always agree because he knows how disciplined I am. And there's times we'll push forward with it. But I want to hear what he thinks, and I want to hear an honest opinion from him. I mean, that helps us make better decisions when you're getting people to be honest with you about what they think.
You do have to evolve as you're going through this. You have to see what's happening around you and what's helping other clubs and whether or not that's an advantage that they're gaining and whether or not we should look at that as something we should do. But it all comes back to holding true to your philosophy and sticking to it. You can always create cap room. You can always make something work if you really want to, but it's got to be in the best interest of the Colts to move forward with it. I'm going to let you go here. Congrats. They're going to get you in there, I think, next, and then
Go see Chris.
what we're trying to do is build a roster that can win a Super Bowl. That's the goal. And however you go about doing that, that's the challenge.
We have been looking at different guys across the board.
Every team has holes. You're going to have holes in the fall too, but you try to plug them the best you can, whether it's through free agency or the draft, but you don't know those names yet, and so that's where the excitement comes from, is you don't know what's around the corner. We're all important pieces to making this thing work, and there's no way I can do what I'm doing without the help of everyone in scouting.
So we'll kick this over to you shortly, and then just let me know, all right? All right, very good, man. Appreciate it. Yep, bye.